Hey guys, how you doing? You got the widget guy. I'm gonna stay on the bike here for a second. Uh, yeah, I was just gonna go over two upgrades I did on the old XR650. One of them you can tell probably that's why I'm sitting on the bike is I put the Acerbis Acerbis back on the bike. It came with this tank, but it was just jumbo. But I do need the mileage, and I had another one that I got with another bike kind of for free, so I put that on it. That was a 4-gallon IMS. This is a 5.8, which is what this bike needs. The XR650 has never gotten the mileage of the DR, or not. There's no way it'll ever touch the KLR, because this thing, roughly speaking, is about 35. The DR is 45, and the KLR is 55 on an average. KLR has a 6 point something gas tank, and I have a 5-gallon tank on the DR. And this one, it had the 4.0 IMS, but I put the 5.8 back on it. I tell you what, it makes a world of difference. I had these, I bought these on clearance. These are Rocky Mountain graphics. But it makes a world of difference because it's not just all red. Because I used to call it the red potato just because it looked, you have this big old potato thing hanging on it. But so yeah, graphics, yeah, I think it makes it look way better. So as on the one video, or the little shorts I did, I'm still playing with those, is I hadn't used this in about 2 years, and it's just been kind of hanging up on the rafters. So I haven't touched it today. But the fuel valves, the rubbers inside and stuff have dried out. I got the notice today from Amazon that my new ones have been shipped. I went with the new fuel line. They come with a plastic tee, and I just went brass. And I have another fuel filter I'll put on when I put the valves on. This one's been on for a while, but I picked up a new one the other day. One of the big things I've did since the ride up to Crown King is I kind of thought, well, the other bikes, the KLR and the DR, have one tooth bigger on the counter shaft. Well, on this, I looked at it. They do sell a bigger counter shaft, but there's no way to get it in comfortably. So what I did is I had a 45 on it. That's what they come with on the rear sprocket. And I went with a 42. And it was just an experiment. I mean, the sprocket was actually fairly cheap. I think it was like 16, 17 bucks on Amazon. And so I threw that on. I'd actually forgotten about it. I dropped my truck off at the dealer today to have some work done. So this being the lightest bike, I threw it in the back, and then I just rode it home. So I didn't have to get an Uber. But I'd actually forgotten about the gearing. Same way with like Obi-Wan when he put the 16 tooth on the DR. These big thumpers have so much torque that, I'd forgotten all about it till I hopped on the freeway and noticed that my RPM was lower. And that was what I wanted, because I don't know if that's going to help my mileage on the XR here by dropping the RPMs down or not. And that was the whole purpose. And then the other thing I was thinking is there's such a gap between first and second that maybe low gear, I can carry that longer up a hill or a bad, wherever I'm using first gear at, before I have to shift into that second gear to where it bogs the engine. Of course, when I go from first to second, it's going to be higher, so it may bog it, but it may let me carry first gear long enough. So we'll see. It's just an experiment. It was cheap. I just threw it on there. Because I had to, I washed the bike, cleaned the chain, and threw the sprocket on. So, but those are the two mods. And yeah, I tell you, with the excuse me, with the graphics, it gave it a whole nother look. And I actually kind of like the Acerbis tank. I call it Acerbis. Now that I'm on it, the only problem I have is I have the RSW upside down fork clamps on it, and now this edge here digs into the tank, so I'm gonna have to put maybe like I was thinking just like maybe a sheet metal or aluminum patch here, and then glue it to the tank. And I won't be able to stop it from hitting, but I will be able to stop it from gouging. You can see I already got the marks here, and that's about the only issue. So evidently these clamps bring the forks farther apart than the stock XR650 clamps, because this is a 450X upside down front end, twin chambers, and 450X front wheel, axle, and spacers. So that's the only dilemma right now. And I don't do single track or anything anymore, but I do have enough turning radius. It actually turns a little bit better for that way. But I just don't want to gouge the hole in the tank, so I'll have to put some kind of shield right there and just glue it straight to the tank. Just so when it hits, it'll distribute it the load, and it won't just pinpoint it into that one spot, and it'll be a harder surface. So anyway, that's the upgrades on the old XR. Just a quick video, but yeah, I really like the tank on it with Rocky Mountain graphics. Like I said, when I bought these, they were a closeout. They were less than 20 bucks. They were all wrinkly. The best way I found to put them on, I have some of that decal adhesive spray that you put it on, you center it up, and then you squeegee it out. That didn't really work well on these. I don't know if it's because they're old and everything, but I just used a heat gun, and I have a little video I may put up about that. But by using the heat gun, I was able to smooth it all out. And then these cuts here, I had to make a little bit bigger, just so I could work it down in. And then this one was my own cut, just because I had overlap there. And you can see it's not on this one, but this one here I made bigger, and this one here I made a smidge bigger. But yeah, they came out great. So heat gun, that's the tool. But anyway, the gearing, yeah, it's pretty cool. I like it already. I didn't even notice it. You do something like that, and like I said, on these big old 650s, they have so much torque that I was like halfway home before I realized I was cruising, about 400 or 500 RPMs lower at 70 miles an hour. So anyway, and these fuel valves, if I sit and turn them and stuff, they'll leak. So I'm just kind of leaving it, so it was easier to throw this in the back of the truck because it weighs less than like the DR or the, especially the Behemoth KLR650. So this I can handle by myself. So anyway, guys, quick upgrade. Rear sprocket is a 42 teeth from a 45, and the Acerbis tank back on. So, widget guy over and out. You guys take care. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.